Hey guys, it's the Rift here, and welcome to another Redstone tutorial. So, last episode was all about repeaters and torches. This episode, as promised, are going to be all about pistons. And I have quite a lot lined up for you guys, but before I get started, there's a couple of things I want to say. The first thing is, I apologise for me not posting recently. That's been because I've been spending a lot of time trying to record Mirror's Edge about 4 times now. Anyway, what happens is it's not very compatible with PlayClaw, which is the recording software which I use, because at certain points it suddenly decides it wants to stop recording without notifying you that it stopped recording. So after many frustrated times, I have given up. And even if I could fix it, I've played Mirror's Edge gone through the storyline so many times now, I am kind of fed up with it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that means that I'm going to have to choose another game or another series. So I have some options, which I will explain to you, which is my second thing. So the first option is I could get Faster Than Light off Steam, which I've heard from some of my friends is very good. Don't know what it's like really. I haven't played it myself. I could get Starbound off Steam. I could do a solo Terraria series. Yes, I apologise. I said I was going to do one with AJ Superhero a long time ago. I had a bit of trouble with port forwarding. Also, I had to wait till I got a new computer because it was too slow to run the server. Or finally, I could do a Attack of the B Team series of Technic Pack. The Technic Pack. That's it. Yeah. So if you comment on which one you want me to do, and then I'll probably do that. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, that's enough from me. Here is the piston redstone tutorial. So once again, we've got our automatic time set data with a button here, just so we can do it manually as well. Is that not working? Never mind, it probably works. It probably just won't set it day until it's actually day. Or perhaps this torch stops it. Perhaps, I don't know. Anyway, let's just start in. So, just jump right in. So, anyway, after the last series, there are a couple of things I missed out. The last episode, there are a couple of things I missed out, which are to do with both torches and repeaters. So the first one is, if you're having a bit of trouble with your torches, it could be because they fuse, and that is basically when they turn on and off so much that they will hiss, make it sound like lava, and then just go out and refuse to turn back on until you turn off the source and turn it back on again. So, like this. They will flash like that and make a lava noise. Don't worry about it. The way to fix it is you just destroy this block and it'll be back to normal. And then, of course, place that again will make it spaz. That's because this, of course, highly powers that, which then powers that, which then weakly powers that, which turns that off. So basically, because there's a 1-tick delay in that realizing, that's a 1-tick circuit. So it's very fast. You could, of course, attach that to a clock, but Notch implemented this to stop people from making super fast clocks that would make Minecraft too laggy. I don't think he's not removed it because, well, it's sort of quite nice to have a torch fusing. I think. Well, it gives you a bit of troubleshooting. Anyway, it also happens if you attach it to a 1-tick clock. So these are both set onto 1 tick each. That means that will go tick, 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 tick. So that will act every 10th of a second. That will turn on. So if I press this button, this here is a piston pulsar, which I'll go into once I've gone a bit further into the video. This allows you to make super fast clocks. So it overwrites the old video of pistons. So anyway, we press this button, and as you can see, the torch goes spaz again. And look, super fast circuit. Aha, yes, super fast circuit. And of course, pressing the button again, torch goes spaz. Yep, indeed, great. I'll break that to stop it from lagging out my Minecraft, even though it doesn't, but you know, it gets kind of annoying. Right, the next thing I need to show you is there's something to do with repeaters, and it is this. It is a repeater. If it gets hit by a pulse that's shorter than the repeater length, for example, you know, this repeater is set on 2. So if it gets hit by a pulse that's shorter than 2, i.e. a 1-tick pulse, it will turn it into a 2 pulse. I'll show you what I mean with this piston. So Basically, what this is a 1 tick clock. There's a 2 tick clock, so each of these is set to 2. Oh dear, this is spaz. What's happened? I heard it spaz. Oh, it's this. This just suddenly decided to refresh itself, and yeah. Anyway, I start the clock up like that. No, actually, oops, too slow. I wasn't really concentrating that one. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Now I can connect this to that. Okay, and that of course is doing it. This is because that's weak power. That's all taking out the power. I'm sorry for the noise. I shall turn down the sound of blocks down a bit because we'll get a lot of piston noises. Done. Okay, that's better. Anyway, watch this. If I right-click this, it slows down. That's because each tick of these has been shortened into a. It's been shortened. Why is it not being shortened massively? It's because this isn't quite in sync with that, so it's carrying over into the next tick, so retaining the current because it's on to a higher setting than it should be. So if you're wondering why everything's going slow, I know I haven't explained it really clearly, but you'll see if I turn it on 3. It takes so long for it to get through that it won't even count the ticks, and the same with them 4. It won't even count the pulses. So if you're wondering why it's not working, it's possibly because you've got to set your repeater to too high a thing. And if you make a 1 tick pulser and you put a 2 tick repeater in the way of it, it should ruin its effect. Anyway, that is one of the things. But I'll show you how. I'll show you it works with sort of. If this is a 16 tick clock, so if I go like that. Oops. Ah, I destroyed a corner of it. I'm a klutz today, I think. I'll do it from this angle. Okay, look. It goes on for longer than this one, which went. And that's because it's going on for 0.4 of a second at a time. Just a little thing about repeaters, but bear that in mind when you're making pulse shorteners, because they might not work properly. But anyway, now onto some crafting recipes. So once again, it's in the item frames. So this is how to craft a basic piston. So here are the. I don't want to chuck them. Chuck. Anyway, this is how you craft a basic piston. You'll need an iron and a redstone, as well as 2 cobblestone and 4 cobblestone and 3 wood planks. So here I have them, and I can use that to make a piston. And like that, and then the iron ingot goes there, and then the redstone dust goes there. Ooh, piston. Cool. Then, to make a sticky piston, which is a variant of the piston, I'll show you the differences in a minute, you need to get a normal piston and put a slime ball. So I have a normal piston and a slime ball. So put one here. You can do it in your normal crafting inventory, actually, with that. And then a block of redstone is just like any other. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also going to be covering blocks of redstone in this. They're a sort of power source. But anyway, they're basically a bit like every single other, storage block, you know, like gold and stuff. And then you craft them out of 9 redstone on each thing, like that. And you get a block of redstone. Yeah, and you can turn it back into redstone, just like that. Right. I'll show you their various uses in a row. I'll put those back in there for the time being. So, being a regular component, pistons and sticky pistons function in pretty much the same way in powering. So you can power them, of course, from the front, like that. But you can also power them from the back because this is weakly powered block, so it'll power that, as shown in video 1. Yep, like that. Yeah. Iron pickaxe, sticky piston. Basically, what you can do is you can. Well, if you place them, they'll be in different configurations. So if you jump and place, it will face up. But if you place it from the side, it will place that. It will place the sift. It will face you when you place it. So if I was to look up and found a block above me, I could place it and it would face down. So a bit like dispensers and stuff in this way. Though I haven't actually covered dispensers yet, but never mind. Pistons and I'll keep the pickaxe. Right, pistons. They're quite interesting blocks because when they extend like that, any blocks on top of them will get pushed. So this one here, I think, is a sticky piston. So both sticky pistons and pistons push But when you retract a sticky piston, i.e. turn it off, it will pull the block down with it. Whereas a normal piston will just leave it in place. But you see, that's the difference between pistons and sticky pistons. So sticky pistons are normally more useful than pistons, but there are some instances where you'd rather have a piston. Anyway, here we have pistons can actually push all kinds of blocks, every single one of them, except for a few notable exceptions. They are bedrock and obsidian. So, well, I'll show you how it works. Yeah, see, that configuration works. But when you put the whatever on it, just doesn't work because it's too strong a block or too heavy or whatever. Well, but basically means you can make a strong, safe house out of these so that people can't bust through, or you can't push your way out through the base and get into the void and kill yourself. Anyway, another thing they can't push through is this block here, which is the what's it called? Well, so the interior of the solenoid of the piston. So the thingy. Anyway, pistons can't push through that, but if I retract it, it can push. Oh look, when I retracted that, that allowed that to pop through, and then of course I can't do anything with that. So yeah. Also, however, if I extend this, although I cannot push it like that, I can actually. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. If you mine this block, the piston will come down as well. Let's go off an alternative. No, I should place that. Yeah. Okay. What you can do, however, is if that's extended, if you can't do that, you can do this. What? It's not working. Right. This is a bit of an embarrassment. I think it's because this is extended. So even if it's extended, you can't. Yeah. So basically, yes. When it's extended, you can't push it. But when it isn't extended, you can push it. That's what I was trying to explain. That's what I was showing, basically. So, look, I'll show you again. That's non-extended can push. Extended can't push. Even if these are both down, can't push. Yeah. Okay, just interesting fact. Right. If, however, you want, you know, I was talking about the piston. Yeah. This bit was sort of meant to be after this bit. Never mind. If you want the block that the piston pushes to come back down, because otherwise it will stay up there. If it's facing vertically, of course, you can put a sand or gravel block or red sand on it. And do that, and of course, even regular pistons can push sand blocks as well. This. Yeah, like that. But they will retract it. So if I were to hit these both at the same time, that one takes it down slower than that one. Anyway, pistons can push up to 12 blocks facing from all directions. So if I go up there, a little bit of parkour, well, not exactly parkour, but sort of step action up here. And here we go. That's highly powers this block, which means that all the pistons touching it will get powered. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks. So all of these should push them. That's the maximum range a piston can push. Like that, they all push it. Hang on, does the one? That one pushes it as well. And then I can pull the lever again that will retract. But then supposing I add another block to each of those, so they've all got 13. Oops, that was foolish of me. They're all going to have 13 now. Ah! Ouch! Thank goodness I'm playing in peaceful, otherwise that probably would have killed me. Well, actually, no, it probably would have ruined my health, and then when I did anything else, it would have killed me. So I don't know if I place this here. Although they make the noises, but they don't actually activate because there are too many blocks. So of course you'll have to cut down on the number of blocks if you want them to move. But most of the time you won't be pushing more than 12 blocks. Look, 13 blocks there. Right. Another thing that pistons can be used for is that they can move entities and animals that are on them. So if I spawn 2 chickens, this one is with a regular piston, and this one is with a sticky piston. They both work exactly the same with the animals. So if you boost this chicken up, it appears for some reason that the chicken has glitched under here. Hang on, what's happening? What's happening? Is the chicken too? I think the chicken might be too small. Let's try it with a sticky piston. Yeah, I think the chicken is too small actually to go on the piston. It's funny. Didn't think this would happen. I think the chicken got stuck under here. Look, if I look, there's a chicken just waddling around in here. You know, like nothing's happening. Just chilling, you know. And we'll trap the alarm. Aha, you're trapped now. Anyway, back to the pistons. Well, they can push you up at any rate, so they can push you up, and then you can do this, and that will push me off, because of course they can move people. They can also move mine carts and boats, and most mobs can be moved by them. Like if I had a zombie egg, I'd show you, but I could go and get myself a zombie. Never mind. I think you know. I think you know what I'm talking about anyway. So it works the same way with a piston. So if I look, piston pushes me up, and then I can flick this one, pushes me along. Of course, if I flick this again, notice the piston retracts, doesn't push that along. So basically, the way the pistons and stupid chickens, will you shut up? The pistons and sticky pistons are basically the way that you can transfer redstone current into actually moving the Minecraft environment around you. Because okay, there we go. Good old chickens. Yep, there we go. Served your purpose, except you didn't because you were too small. Give me the chicken. Never mind. Anyway, so that's quite useful for interacting with the Minecraft environment around you. So you can make doors out of pistons. You can make moving floors. You can make moving lots of things, basically. Yeah, but remember that it can only push 12 blocks in any direction. Right. Oh, and another thing I've forgotten to tell you. If a sticky piston pushes a block, so I'll get rid of the sound, but if a sticky piston pushes a block, and then which has another block on top, although the sticky piston will retract this block, because the stickiness is not on the other side of the block, it will only pull down this block here. So like that, look. So it only works like that. And so this can sort of act a bit like a piston, and can be quite annoying, so you can't make a huge retracting door, because it would only retract the ones on the side. A way to get around that is by using sand, but it's a lot more complicated. Right. Piston, do you remember when the first time I showed you on Minecraft, I showed you the redstone tutorial, I showed you that this block here, the redstone can't go up there. Now, this is why it's very important. It's because of a, if a piston pushes a block into that position, like this, look, doesn't connect. So I can retract that, and look, connects again. This can be very useful to shut off current to a place. So look, lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. But if I turn this off, it will. So it's basically like a repeater lock. In that if I lock this, if I turn that on and off, it won't do anything. Yet that when it activates, that one is always going to be off. In case you're wondering why this is on, it's because that is weakly powering that, which is then powering that. But I didn't know that would happen, so just notice it now. Anyway, it's not exactly like a repeater lock function. It's more sort of if it checks to see if you've got something right. So supposing you remember the combination lock. This bit will be connected to the button, and this would be the combination lock. So, I'll show you. So, supposing you've got the code right, and that's the door, or supposing you've got the code right, so this lever is down, but the door is not open because, well, pretend that's the door. The door is not open because this hasn't retracted. So, when I press the button, this retracts and moves back, so the door will open because the light's turned on. But supposing this is off, if I do this to check to see if the door will open, nothing happens and the door doesn't open. And the same can be used for, you know, supposing a floor that will crush you. So I can build one quickly here with a sticky piston and this. Right. So this is the block that needs to be moved. So I'll put sticky piston facing it like that, and then you can just simply wire it up. I'll put a lever here, and then the sticky piston will retract that block, and you can turn this on. Of course, you can substitute the sticky piston for a regular piston, with some quite interesting results. Hang on, I'll mine that. For regular. I didn't do that. Anyway, the regular piston will mean that when I do that, it will lock it, so I can never, even if I retract this, I can never, ever, ever get that light to turn back on again, no matter what I do. So, it's a good way of locking a door if you want to stop people from ever getting out of the door if they've got your code wrong or something. Anyway, very convenient for use in adventure maps and things. I'll put this back in there. Right, now for a use of this piston thing, and this is a trapped chest. You can tell it's a trapped chest by the little red rim around the lock. Anyway, if I open this, well, who knew that was going to happen? So I can come out here and climb back out here. But also, this is a lock, so I can lock myself in there. So supposing I open this, I am trapped. No, I cannot get out. Or can I? Plot twist. No, I can. That would be inconvenient had I not been able to get out, but I can because I can game mode 1 or whatever. Anyway, basically what it's used here is as a well, I'll show you, because this thing has a way of, this trap I've made has a way of stopping the floor from going in. So if you put these, and then you open the chest, retrieve whatever good loot there was in there without falling to your death or whatever. And that is because, when you pull this, these pistons automatically move, these pistons which are connected up here and down here, these pistons will cover up, there's a block down there with redstone on it, that will stop redstone from being able to get through here. And then that will stop the chest from the chest output from going through this not gate and deactivating these pistons which hold the floor up. So, but this is what I mean by the undecided state. So right now it's in the undecided state. But supposing I open this chest, actually it doesn't work with the chest because the chest isn't actually a continual power source. But supposing that was in the undecided, this right now is in the undecided state, which for this component is off, or on if you count going through the NOT gate. Anyway, because the pistons have turned it into undecided, when you supposing this was always on, when you flip this, the piston will retract and force the thing to come to a decision. So if this was on, it would force the thing to open the floor, and if it was off, then it would force the thing to decide that now you weren't activating this, and it would not open. But if I put one of these up, that means only this side of the floor is allowed to go through, this side isn't, so I can open it up and only half the floor fall away. Very handy. More ambience. I don't really like ambience personally. No. Anyway, so I know that you can push. You know now that you can push a piston over a bit where a redstone will go up a slope here. But what happens if you put a piston pushing directly onto the redstone, such as here? So this piston is pushing it would, when that's activated, that will push into the block where the redstone's on. Well, it will destroy it and put it as an item. So that also can be used as a way to stop people from being able to open a door. So supposing you had a trail along here with a button on the end. Supposing you flick this lever, the trail is broken and they can no longer open the door. Quite nifty. Actually, they can't. So, yeah. Quite handy if you want to block a door. In fact, there are lots of ways of doing that in Minecraft. Right. Now onto the redstone block. So it's set to be a power source, but strictly speaking, it isn't a power source as in the way a torch is. In that it works in the way that it's a portable, highly powered block. So if I can get one, basically the highly powered block means that it won't power any blocks touching it. So it won't highly power this block. It won't even weakly power this block, so the torch remains on. You can extract power out of it using either a repeater or just regular wiring, and any block touching it will be powered, but not blocks touching that block. So supposing I had another lamp up here, it would not be powered. So unlike if you put a torch underneath it, you'd have two. You'd have two. Anyway, so the reason why this is such a useful block, well, actually, if you had a torch underneath there, you could have another one on top of that and be powered. So the reason why this is such an interesting block is that it's a power source going to be moved around by pistons without losing its highly powered state. So you can move a piston and it will push it. However, if you move a piston, although the piston won't be powered by it if it's right on the top, when the piston is extended, it won't be able to turn back off again because the what's it called? Redstone block, sorry, excuse me, will be powering it. This only works if it's facing vertically though, because it can be horizontally. Fine. It can be used. I've made it sort of configuration here where this piston will push that highly powered block. This block, the redstone block, which will then power this piston, which will push that redstone block, which will power this piston, push that redstone block, which will etc. until that piston will push the redstone block underneath the lamp, which will turn on. And then I've got some repeaters here to show you that it can be used as a delay. So if I flick this, see, it makes a nice sound. It goes clunk, 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 clunk all the way to the end. And then when you press the lever, it's nice because although it's a delay of about 9 ticks, as shown here, although it has a delay of 9 ticks, unlike the repeaters, it does not retain its current. So when you turn it off, it turns off straight away, whereas the one with the repeaters has to wait until the current has gone through another 9 ticks to turn off. So it can be used as a sort of delay instead of repeaters. I know it's not quite precise, but it's somewhere between 9 and 10. Because when I did it with 10 repeaters, it was this one was too long, and when I did it with 9, I think it's slightly too short. But not very accurate way of timing, but you can turn it off straight away, which is one of the upsides. So another thing with it is that it's similar to the way the piston pushing the block onto to block the redstone going up a slope, but except that so it can't be retracted, except that it will keep the power going rather than turning the power off. So here we have a lamp here, and when I press this button, even though the button's only active for 1 second, the lamp will stay on forever because this piston has just pushed it into place. Of course, with sticky pistons, it will still retract it, but with pistons, it will stay there for a long time, or forever, actually. Right. Another thing with pistons is that because of the way that they're pushing a block, and that they take exactly 1 tick to push that block, they can be used to make pulse shorteners. So this is a much more compact pulse shortener than the ones I've shown you before. So basically the way it works is that when this button is pressed, this is highly powered, which sends current down here. The current then goes into this repeater here. 1 tick later, this will be active. It also goes into this repeater. 1 tick later, this will be highly powered. And then, because that's highly powered, it will power this, which goes here. But this repeater is repeated locked, so it won't be able to go through there. But it will go and open this. However, because this will, because as well as taking 1 second to be activated, it will take 1 second to actually push this block. This block will remain highly powered for exactly 1 tick. So then the 1 tick will go into this this redstone, and this should open for 1 tick, which has very interesting results as it's a trapdoor. So watch this. In fact, I'll show you it like this. So you press the button and it's like that. It's too fast for you to be able to see it, but that's, believe you me, it's 0.1 seconds. And I'm standing directly on the pressure plate, on the trapdoor, I swear, and I press this button. My goodness me. It didn't even open. So, well, it did open. It opened, but it didn't let me fall through. Of course, you can reduce the, you can make the tick longer, make the pulse longer by making that go up. So that will be 4 ticks, because, yeah, that will be 4 ticks. So that's 4 add 1 for the piston moving, minus 1 for this one here. That's 4 ticks, so this will open for 4 ticks. So I can sit here, and it will open. So, yeah. So, as well as being able to open this for a phenomenally short amount of time, you can use this. This is the pulse shortener I showed you towards the start of the video, to activate a 1 tick clock. the way this works, highly powered that, which powers this, which highly powers that, powers this. And that's a very compact clock that will activate that will pulsate very quickly. So if I flick this lever, which deactivates the repeater lock, so I can now activate the clock by pressing this. Oh, that didn't work because this was set on too high a setting. My bad. Also, some reason it has decided to go into a continual power loop here, where that's powering that, that's powering that, that's powering that, that's powering that. So in order to break that, I'll break this. Yeah, be careful with those. If you have if your clock fails at lighting, you can get a power loop. That. There we go. Look at that, phenomenally fast. You thought the clock I showed you in the last video was fast? This one's even faster. So let's see what it does with snowballs. Oh, look at that. Look at that. If you were in that range and you were, attacking the zombie, you'd be like, thrown off wherever. Of course, you can fill it with arrows, fire charges, eggs, ender pearl. Yeah, I think you can fill it with ender pearls as well. And it will just fire everywhere. Anyway, it makes quite a cacophony if you've got this. So break this to finish the circuit. The reason why we have to ignite this in 0.1 of a second is because otherwise it would fill up the whole thing and create a loop. So it's got to be fast enough to do it. So that's why we need this specialist pulse shortener. But there is a more compact one, which is this. And the way this works is this lever will highly power this block, which will, as well as powering this piston, will power this. This will weakly power this, but the weakly power will be taken out of it by the repeater and sent down here. So basically, even though it's this of course will take 1 tick to activate, so you'll get a 1 tick pulse coming out of here. And even though it's a lever, it will work even though this is a lever, basically. See, 1 tick pulse, and then you have to turn it off, and turn it again, 1 tick pulse. And what I was going to show you here is, there's an interesting thing happens with a, if you 1 tick pulse a sticky piston. So, normally a sticky piston will retract and place a block. Well, if you wire it up to a 1 tick pulsar, it goes up so quickly and comes down so quickly because there's a 1 tick pulse. It doesn't actually have time to take that block back. Of course, if you do it again, if you 1 tick pulse it again, it will have time to remove it, take it back again. So that's quite interesting because if you want to make basically a flip-flop, you can put a block of redstone here. Well, of course, not in this vertical position to power something. And then when you press it again, it will be moved out of the position to power something. So it can be used as sort of a button toggle flip-flop. That's just what it's called. It doesn't mean anything to do with toggles or flip-flops, but that's what it's called. Anyway, so now it's time for the build. Now, this isn't a very ambitious build because, well, that's what last time's build was. This is a simpler build for those of you who really want something to incorporate into their houses. So this is called a classic Jeb door. Now, as you know, Jens Bergensten, I think that's how you pronounce his name, or you should know, he's a developer at Mojang. Took over from Notch, I think in 2012, wasn't it? Or was it 2013? Anyway, he found this. He didn't actually make this door. He found the designs for it on the internet. So, ever since that, it has been used. Basically, the fundamental way it works is, I'll show you. Basically, these pistons normally would be extended, and they would look flush with the cliff face, which would extend all here. So that block would be covered by these. Then, when you press the hidden lever or button or whatever, these would retract, and then these, which normally are powered, so touching these, will retract and pull both these blocks and that block out of the way, and creating a little corridor. So I think, in fact, do that over here. It will create a little corridor down there. So I've put the pistons in already, but I'll show you how to wire it up. So what you will need blocks, redstone, repeaters, torches, and a lever. So first things first, you need to choose where you want your little hidden entrance switch to be. So I shall put mine over. It's got to be accessible from the inside, so hollow out a mountain or wherever that you're going to place it. So I think I'm going to place a torch. No, not torch. my lever. I'm going to place it over here. Now, make sure you can find it from the inside, so it's that block. Is that block? I think it is. I shall check. Okay, there we go. Put redstone on it. Okay, make sure you've got the right block. Yep, that's the right block. Anyway, so that's gonna be our door activator. Now, the next thing you need to do is find a way to power a big stack of 4 pistons. Now, the easiest way to do this, you need to. I think I can remember how to do this. So you put a redstone repeater on the floor here, and then redstone here. So I'll show you if I discovered this by accident one day, actually, the way to power a load of pistons using this method. And basically, the way it works is this highly powers that, which powers this block. Also, it will weakly power this, which will power that, and this one gets powered because I can't remember how this one. I'm not quite sure how this one gets powered, actually. Could be a glitch, but I'm not sure. But I'll show you. All of them get powered, and then if I destroy this, I shall show you what I mean by corridor creation. Look, a corridor, and it leads into our little hidden gold room, where, of course, you didn't know about because you could not see the gold from over here. Yeah, no prizes for guessing what was in there. Anyway, so basically the way it's going to work is that we're going to power these. There's going to be power to these pistons, and then the power to these pistons is going to be taken away before the power to these pistons is going to be taken away, because otherwise this would try and retract when these pistons were still active, and because of course a piston can't push or retract a piston that's extended, then it will not work. So now we have to find a way to power these pistons when the door is extended. This will normally be extended, by the way, and when you open the door, a NOT gate will turn it off. This also will be the thing here will also be normally extended. So I will want the pistons are behind these 2 blocks. So I'm going to want to highly power them. I think is that going to be the best plan? I know there's a piston behind there, so I'll highly power that one. I'll highly power that one, and then I can do a bit of wiring here. Oh darn! Such is the problem with wiring in survival. I don't really advise it that much. Creative is always the best, but if you're making if you want to do it in survival, of course, that's up to you. So now if I power this, oops, no, that won't power it, will it? Look, that will then sit flush with the cliff face, and so then when you pull the lever, it will be effectively like destroying this torch, and then destroying this torch, and then when you pull the lever, it will be effectively like placing them again. So now I'll wire them up with the timing. So we're going to want to wire this redstone up to here. So that normally is going to be on. Why is that not working? Oh, I know why it's not working. Because that, yeah, I'm going to put a delay on there to mean that pushes after. That will push that. No, that will stop pushing after this has stopped pushing. Because otherwise, you know, I said what will happen. Right, now I'm going to need to find a way of transmitting the current underneath or over the top of everything to get it round to the other side. So I have 2 options. One, I can go for the upwards option, which is send the current along up there, which hopefully won't muck around with any of the things inside. Actually, it won't. Because you have to be careful with placing redstone on blocks in case you accidentally weakly power them. So now I'll destroy this block and quick step across it. And okay. So then we have the redstone running across here and the redstone running across here. And we're going to need to destroy this block just for a moment. And put redstone on the block there and down there. If you can see, I can place redstone on the side of a block by on top of a block by right-clicking. If I destroy it up here. Sorry, that was rubbish. Okay, I can place redstone up here by placing it on the side. But I don't want it to go down here, otherwise it'll connect to here, then it won't be highly powering this block, because it will count as avoiding it. So what I'm going to have to try and do is I'm going to have to try and sneak it down around sort of sneak it down round this way. So I'm going to want, I can't place it directly onto a piston, so I'm going to have to put it, it's going to look slightly strange. I made this mountain a bit small when I built it. Yeah, I built it. Yeah, no prizes for guessing. Well, actually, perhaps. I don't know. Well, you're gonna have to make your own prize for guessing if you want prizes for guessing. Yep, indeed. You know. Why? Oh, okay. Then I'll put this. Oh no. Oh dear. This is posing a bigger problem than I first thought it would. I'm going to sneak down this way. It's going to look slightly strange from the back when I patch it all up, but never mind. Get rid of that. And what is wrong with you? Oh, it's running out of current. You know what I mean by redstone running out of current or running out of energy. So put a repeater here, and for some stupid reason, what's wrong with this? I think I have just discovered a glitch in Minecraft. It's because this is running into here, isn't it? No, it's not. For once, it isn't. For once, it's a completely different reason. Right. News. If you have a repeater powering a redstone dust on a glowstone block, it won't power anything running off the sides of it. Oh, well, at least running down from it. Will it power anything on the stuff? Yeah, it will power it like that, yeah. Don't know why it didn't work last time. It must have been an actual official glitch. Might have to report that to the Minecraft wiki, but probably not. Anyway, now you can see, now it's all wired up. If I flick this, you can hear the see? The mechanism works. Now all you have to do is use the remainder of the blocks you've got to make it look nice. Or not look nice, but look secretive. So, lever sticking out of it is not suspicious at all. But look, this one lever opens up a secret passageway to the gold storage room. Oh yes, where's where I keep all my gold? Yeah, gold. Yeah, we're going to be a gold robber. Anyway, that about sums up what most of the stuff I've got to say about pistons. I am pretty much definitely sure that I'll find something. I've forgotten to say this episode, next episode, which will be a complete annoyance. I apologise when I do. But for now, this is all I can remember about pistons. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, I'm glad because, well, redstone is fun. It shouldn't be daunting, as it says so in the Minecraft Annual 2014 that I got, just to see what it was like. And it turns out it's all stuff like redstone is daunting. But it's not daunting, and it shouldn't be daunting. It should be fun, entertaining, and should make you be able to make amazing combination locks that go boom. Hidden gem doors, because it's not actually gem. And, well, what was the other thing I made? Oh, a bat cave. Yes, that was it. A bat cave. You should be able to make a bat cave and then blow it up if they have the Joker or whoever comes. But just don't forget that the wiring was a bit iffy on that. So if you watch it, don't take it too seriously. Anyway, thank you for watching. I shall see you next time on whatever series that you've commented to say. But hopefully I'll see you before then, because it'll take me a bit of time to get around to it, you know, buy stuff off Steam and things. Anyway, I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Rift Wraith out.